All right, let's get a easy introduction into machine learning pipelines. So this one is definitely not an exhaustive one, and we're definitely going to see more complex ones throughout this course, but let's get to it here. So starting on the left-hand side, we might start with data labeling. This is very important when you're doing supervised learning because you need to label your data so that the ML model can learn by example during training. This stage and the feature engineering stage is considered pre-processing because we are preparing our data to be trained for the model. When we move on to feature engineering, the idea here is that ML models can only work with numerical data, so you'll need to translate it into a format that it can understand. So extract out the important data that the ML model needs to focus on. Okay? Then there's the training step. So your model needs to learn how to become smarter. It will perform multiple iterations, getting smarter with each iteration. You might also have a hyperparameter tuning step here. It says tuning, but it should say tuning. But the ML model can have different parameters. So you can use ML to try out many different parameters to optimize the outcome. When you get to deep learning, it's impossible to tweak the parameters by hand. So you have to use hyperparameter tuning. Then you have serving, sometimes known as deploying. But when we say deploy, we talk about the entire pipeline, not necessarily just the ML model step. So we need to make an ML model accessible. So we serve it by hosting it in a virtual machine or container. When we're talking about Azure machine learning, it's either going to be an Azure Kubernetes service or Azure Container Instance. And you have inference. So inference is the act of requesting to make a prediction. So you send your payload with either CSV or whatever, and you get back the results. You have a real-time endpoint and batch processing. So real-time is just batch can be real-time as well, but generally it's slower. But the idea is that am I making a single item prediction, or am I giving you a bunch of data at once? And again, this is a very simplified ML pipeline. I'm sure we'll revisit an ML pipeline later in this course.